Let's see what
Right.
happens. This is always exciting.
That's true. Okay, I hope that this is going to help Claire. She came back in, so hopefully she'll be able to talk now. And I made her a host. And Hala, you're also a host, so if you wanted to say anything, feel free.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So strange, I still can't hear Claire. Well, the girls are very excited, as of course I am myself. I mean, we met together this morning just to make sure that everything's functioning, and everybody was really, really excited. And then Vance showed up, and oh, okay, great, we see you. Hello, hello. I don't hear your voice yet,
Can you
but
hear me?
yes,
Hear me,
yes,
Susan?
okay, yeah.
We hear you. Did you get some?
Thanks,
some
Mark.
text?
My husband's here helping me. Thanks.
Okay, all right. Hello, welcome. So nice to have you here.
Hi, Claire. Hi.
Okay, great. Oh, okay, so we have lots of people here today. Okay, great. The more the merrier. All right, well, I was telling Vance this morning that actually this class is for my PhD students, and there are only 2 people in the class. But we have like about maybe, I don't know, how many are there of us right now, girls? Maybe like 8, 9, I don't know, because in Iran there are still relatively few call classes. So usually every term I have a few guests from other universities, like, or other places, people who are interested but like don't have access to. So 2 of the girls are my students for this term. Sorry, no, not Asma, but okay, let me. Zahra Muttaqi. Yeah, you were saying?
Maybe they can put a green check if they're your 2 students.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Girls, so raise your hand if you like. Okay, green check. Okay, so Zahra Muttaqi and Miss Babazadeh put an X. Okay. So these 2. So those are my 2 students, but let me.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Sarah.
And the rest of them. Hi. Hello. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm one of the students. I just wanted to introduce myself, and I'm going to turn on my camera maybe later on. Thank you, and it's a great honor to meet all you together in one window. So it's like a dream come true. Thank you for giving us this chance.
Zahra, why don't you turn on your webcam? Turn on your webcam, let them see you. Yeah, let them see you.
Yeah, then we can get a screenshot. It would be nice with the 2 students.
Hello,
Hi.
Zahra Muttaqi, and I'm to see you here.
Very good, hardworking student, very, very active, very active. I'm very proud of her.
Officer on the planet. I'm
Really have, and they're really a great class. I'm very proud of all of them. And Christine is here. Hello, Christine.
Yeah.
Hello, Teresa. Welcome. So lovely of you to come. Thank you so much. Feel free to jump right in, share your webcam. It's so nice to have so many friends here. I talk about you guys a lot to the girls, so it's really very nice for them to meet you like this. And
Hi, Christine.
Hello. Do you see us?
Here comes Ted.
So, Christine, do you hear us? Not sure.
Maybe off and on. I'm getting a lot of lag, or the audio cuts out, stops for a while. Can you hear me, Christine? Yeah, that was a thumbs up. You could hear. Maybe it will settle down. There's Teresa.
Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome. Yes. Hello, Teresa. Hi.
And Elizabeth.
She just joined us a minute ago from France.
Ah, Elizabeth
I
Ann.
hope you hear us, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Ann.
Okay.
Elizabeth in Grenoble. I can hear Elizabeth. There she is. Hi, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
There you are.
Group. We're from all over the world.
He's distracted.
Susan asked me to co-moderate, not for any particular reason me, it's just that
Oh, lost somebody. Ah, she's back.
and we decided that since she teaches, since Professor Marandi, I guess I should say, teaches at the same this morning to co
What does that mean?
2003 with Vance Stevens, 2003. that was it. And I got a webcam, and I got a headset, and it's
Oh, that one.
my field is TESOL. So now, in the COVID-19, what are you doing, Vance? You hear?
Yeah, I do. I do hear you. Yes, sorry. I thought it was Claire, and I
do.
thought your mouth was moving and it was Claire. This is silly me. The audio is coming in strange. Hopefully, it will come in nicely over the stream.
No,
Sometimes it does that.
No,
or
I'm talking.
in Susan's recording.
I'm almost finished.
No problem. I appreciate the things you're saying about me.
The pandemic is proving to be disastrous for them and their teaching.
Right.
With online and all that. So will you show us? So I'm busy. I've got time. That to your students that it's very timely that they're in a call class right now.
Exactly.
Because they're tools that they're on who are studying, they can share their new knowledge and expertise. I just wanted to add that.
I totally agree. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I really appreciate it, all of you. So that to lessen the load a bit, maybe it would help, because Christine and Teresa seem to be the others are okay. We're all fine, okay? So it's totally your choice. Okay, so next up, who else wants to introduce themselves? Okay. All right, who else wants to introduce themselves? Elizabeth, yes.
See what your students are doing. I'm sorry, I probably did.
Yes. No, of course. I think that's a good idea. Actually, Elizabeth, this is my call class. So I have a call class for my PhD students. And as I was telling the others, two of them are actually my students in this term. But we have about 6 or 7 other people who are guests, because call still isn't a course which is offered very much all over the country. So usually I have some guests from other universities, other places. And so 2 of them are my PhD students from this term. And then we have also three people from their studies, just joining us as a guest. And then one of my former students who did her MA with me. So, okay, Teresa has a problem. Teresa, do you hear us now? Teresa? Okay, let me see. Teresa, do you hear me? Let me see. Okay. I hope things are working out. Okay. Anyway, so there's another one of my students, my former students, who has gone to New Zealand, and she got her PhD in call in Christchurch University. There she is, Dr. Farshadnia Asara. Okay, so she is back in Iran recently, and she has a very beautiful little baby. She's been joining us. And then also there are, let me see, who did I leave out? Oh, two of my former students who are also my PhD students. They had their call course with me last year, but they enjoyed it a lot, so they're back again this year. So there are quite a few of us. And I can upload, after the introductions, I'll upload the syllabus so you can see what we've been covering and, you know, become more familiar with what we've been doing. I hope Teresa can hear us. All right, how about...
She'll sort it out, I think. Yeah, so Elizabeth, I'm in Grenoble. One of the things which I had difficulty managing, I was teaching English to physics students only. So these are technically people. But of course, they were totally alien to them at that point. And one of the things which I used to get upset about was that everyone was saying, you know, how to get more followers, how to get everyone to read my blog. I want to be able to use the full potential of bringing the world into my classroom. And once I'd got that straight in my head, and I was doing many more private, I mean, all of my videos on YouTube are unlisted, and things like that, then I could really bring all the potential into the class. And unfortunately, they threw me out of the university, saying, right, that's it, you're gone, you're too old now. So I was very upset. That's why I was really pleased to come, so I was pleased to come and see you, because to me it's such a privilege to be a teacher. I have absolutely loved it all my life. So I especially wanted to come to encourage anyone who is entering this.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Very sweet of you. I really, really appreciate it. It's really a very good opportunity for my students to get to know more people who are into call, more webheads, and, you know, kind of expand their horizons. We're all very excited about it. So thank you so, so much. I always tell them that, you know, call and e-learning helps us connect with the world, but, you know, seeing it in practice is really something different, really different. I mean, theoretically, we all know that this possibility exists, but so far in our class, we've only been like talking amongst ourselves, so Iranians with other Iranians. So, you know, today, they really saw in practice that this is a possibility indeed. And with all the travel ban, for example, imposed by Trump, and, you know, so many other problems, and, you know, Iranians always have lots of problems traveling, and other people have problems coming to Iran. So this is definitely one of the ways that we can link with one another and, you know, keep that communication going on. Thank you so much. So, Christine, do you think you can, you want to use your mic and, you know, introduce yourself? Grandmother of call in Iran?
Can you hear me all now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I was very excited to get Susan's invitation to join you guys, because Susan and I have quite a history. We have 16 years of history, so
right.
It's been fun. Susan found my online call course in 2004 on the internet, and asked if she could join the course at St. Michael's College, and because it was online, of course she could. so she did, and we had a great, back then it was a summer course just for 5 weeks. It was a very intense 5 weeks, but it was a great experience. And then I got to visit her in, I forget when I first went over, 2005, yeah, the following year. And then she invited me to present at a conference in Iran on, I think it was English language teaching, but also with a focus on calls. So I did that, and I was able to get there because I actually have Iranian nationality, thanks to my husband, who is Iranian. So Vance was also supposed to come, but couldn't because he's not an Iranian citizen. So I was very fortunate to be able to be there at Alzahra University and treasure those days and the lecture and meeting all the students in two call workshops. I think it was quite an experience. And then Susan also joined the EBO team as a coordinator for a few years. So we have quite a bit of history together and have enjoyed our friendship over the years.
Thank you so much. Yes, it was indeed a pleasure. And I'm really proud, to have you here. And it's really, my students all know you at least by name. I can hear an echo. I think somebody's mic. Okay. Please, if those of you who are not talking, maybe, okay, great. I was just saying that my students all have heard of you, and every single class, every single year, I always show them your homepage. I always tell them, about you, and so, tell them about the experience. And honestly, it was a very good introduction to call, because as I was telling Vance this morning, by nature, I am not a technophile kind of person. So this does not come natural to me. Whatever I have learned, it has been through hard, work and, putting a lot of time. And so if I didn't have such a great teacher and I was on a dial-up at the time, I wouldn't really have been able to make it. And Christine was very, very kind. And after that term, she asked me to stay on as TA, so I stayed on another term as TA, and that broadened my horizons. And then after that, she introduced me to the web heads, and as she said, I was there as coordinator. So I really owe everything to her. And I always tell everybody this, that at the beginning, my introduction to call was so great that I thought for some years that is the nature of technology, that it leads to better teaching and to better classes. I really thought that I was naive enough to believe that it is a panacea and that call is the way to come up with a good class. And then it took me some time. I had to experience other online courses to realize that no, that was not the magic of call. That was the magic of the teacher using call, which was Christine. So that was a great lesson. And I actually mentioned you in an article that I have in a book chapter, and I explained that, but then they asked me to delete your name. They said you shouldn't do name dropping, so I had to remove your name. But anyway, I'm eternally grateful for whatever you have taught me. So I hope everybody was able to hear me.
Yes, and it's wonderful to have you share your stories of how your relationship developed, both personally and professionally. And I think that shows that this group, we're joined together as a network, both professionally and then personally. It deepens because we need and interact with each other. And as I said again, it's global, and that's what's so exciting about it, and that's why we're excited to be here today with you and your students.
Thank you so much. And of course, I have noticed that people who are into call seem to be on the whole more generous with their time, more generous with their knowledge, more helpful. I don't know whether the e-learning makes them more helpful or whether more helpful people go on to learn e-learning. But whichever it is, yeah, the webheads are like, just, such a nice group of people. You can't really easily find a group which are so helpful. Yes, Hala, please do introduce yourself.
Hey, hello again, Susan.
Hello.
This is Hala Fawzi from Sudan, currently working in Bahrain.
A little louder, please.
Okay, is it better now?
I have you fine,
Okay,
but I don't know about the others.
is it better? A little bit? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's me, Hala Fawzi from Sudan, the heart of Africa, as webheads used to call me. I'm currently in Bahrain, working in University of Bahrain. I work at the Bahrain Teachers College, training English language teachers to be teachers of language in schools, mainly Cycle 1 and Cycle 2 teachers. I've been working in Saudi Arabia for 5 years. I joined Webhead, and I'm a very proud Webhead. In 2005, through I don't know how I ended up. It was nearly, I call it serendipity. I really don't know how I ended up. I really worked hard to remember how did I end up being a webhead. How did I find the webhead in action, becoming a webhead. I couldn't know how I ended up with a hands-on workshop. I've never looked back. I started as a participant and then as a moderator, and I have learned a lot. Actually, whatever I know now, I really relate that to the experience, the sharing of knowledge of webheads, the help that they have provided me with when I was in a developing country, paying half of my salary for a dial-up internet just to continue working as a webhead. Webheads encouraged me. I think so many webheads now became dear friends. The web has encouraged me, connected me to the world through the shared experience and context, different contexts. I've learned a lot in a developing country. I have never dreamt of being open to the world until I became a webhead. And it's not only academic experience. It's more than that. It's even it's the discipline, it's the commitment, it's the so many things I've learned from what it's extending a helping hand. So and even though I'm not very active in responding to the mail list, but I really read all emails, and I find myself that once a webhead, forever a webhead. Thank you, Vance, and thank you, Susan. I've met Susan what was the...
The first time was in the EVO. You were, I think, one of the first participants and then coordinators of the Becoming a Webhead session.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and Teresa was the head of that. And I'm so sorry, she had to leave. But then we saw each other face to face for the first time in Japan. Yes, Japan, right. World Call. We were both scholarship recipients of the World Call Conference.
With other webheads, remember?
Yes, exactly. Jennifer and, right, yeah. And they've all become so active, actually. Evelyn, Jennifer, yeah.
Also met.
Right. Yeah, Fukuoka, exactly. Yeah. We saw Tom Ropp there. Yeah, so many friends. Right.
Thank you. Hey.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so sorry that we missed Teresa. She was here, but sure, her connection was very poor. So I'd just like to take a few moments to explain Teresa. Well, she was actually one of the main coordinators of Electronic Village Online, the EVO sessions, and she always taught the Becoming a Webhead session with Daphne Gonzalez. I was really honored to have her here, and I'm so sorry we weren't able to have her with us. I mean, her connection was very poor, but I have learned a lot from her. She's always been extremely helpful, and so it was really an honor for us to have her here today. I really appreciate her putting in the time. So let's see, who else has not introduced themselves? Vance, I think.
Okay.
Actually, Claire hasn't really introduced herself either, has she?
Right.
Okay, can
Claire,
you hear me?
Claire, I was thinking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, I'll see if I can put the camera back on.
Sure, that would be great.
I'll take mine
Okay.
off, and I'll
Yes,
put it
we
back
see.
on when called on.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Okay, I'm very happy. Good morning. For me, it's morning time. Okay, I'm very happy to be here. I'm here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the U.S. I'm not working right now. I'm working, but only working part time. I'm 76 years old, so I no longer have a regular job. When I first started teaching English as a second language, almost all of my students were from Iran. Okay, I won't tell you what year that is, but you can imagine. And so Iranians have always held a very special place in my heart. And Susan, I don't know how long I have known you. Was it Fukuoka that I met you?
I think that was the first time we met online, I mean face to face, but Christine had somehow introduced us, I think once, like, maybe you visited our blogs or something. And
Yeah. Okay, that's good. But basically, I also don't know when I became a webhead. But it was back in the days when everything was text. We had tapped in, and we did everything with text messaging. We didn't have audio. We didn't have video. A long time ago. So I'm very happy. I feel very honored that Susan asked me to come today. It's nice to see all of you. I don't know.
So nice to have you here.
Thanks. And what about Vance? Vance is founder of the Webhead, so I really think he should introduce himself.
We have to say last but not least at all. You can turn on. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Well, gosh, I don't know what to say. Vance
has been with us this morning, so okay, go ahead, Vance.
Well, I've met everybody whose picture is here, including Claire many times personally, and Elizabeth Ann, I think I met in Morocco, and Christine and Laine, I've seen in so many conferences, and Suzanne also in so many conferences as well, all over the world, and I started Webheads in 1998, I think. Well, actually, we don't know when we started Webheads. It's kind of like Hala doesn't know when she became a Webhead. I remember that it was in San Antonio at the 2006 conference that she became prominent. We started paying a lot of attention to her. I just remember that for some reason. She was becoming active, and there we were showing off Webheads in San Antonio, and interacting, and she was with us from Sudan, and that was really nice to have her there. Anyway, from that time, we Webheads met regularly in 1998 for many years. I don't know how many years, 10 years maybe. We met regularly, and weekly on Sundays. Sorry, someone needs to be muted, perhaps. Anyway, Let's see if we can locate that person. Yep, gone away. Okay, anyway,
There a problem?
no, it's not. It's okay now. There was somebody was interrupting, but
Right.
so yeah. But the interesting thing is that we've, with COVID and the move to online teaching, we've actually started meeting again. This is really amazing. I think actually the first thing we noticed that WebHeads was still cohesive was when Yahoo groups stopped. And Yahoo groups didn't really stop, but they cut out all their web pages, their web support, the photos, the galleries, everything that we had up, the databases. So we managed to port that over to Groups.io intact, pretty much intact. And that's when we started finding out the WebHeads were still together, because we still became cohesive in that group and started back again communicating with each other. And when COVID came along, then we started meeting regularly again. So every Sunday at noon UTC, GMT, if you want to join us, you can. Noon, which is the time we met tonight. So that was just 38 minutes ago. So every Sunday we're online. We have, I can put the links in the text chat if you don't know them already, but what we're doing right now, this event is being streamed so that we get a recording of it and we can put up right away. I believe that Susan will give us the link as well. And we'll blog that at learning2gether.net. And so you can read where to connect with WebHeads in that blog post. So learning2gether.net is the place where we post all our events. We've got something going on right now called TALIN, Teaching and Learning in Isolation. And Susan put herself down as a speaker in that series. And we've been doing that every few days now for the last several weeks. So all of this is creating quite a really nice archive of people coming together. And we welcome anybody else who wants to talk to us in teaching and learning in isolation. And like I said, I'll put the link to learning2gether.net. So if you go to any of the archives that are up there now, you can find the links to WebHeads in Action and the TALIN links. And yes, and Laine has put in the Groups.io, and you can also join that if you want. We're very open, and also in our learning2gether.net posts, we also have our Facebook pages. So all of these things you're more than welcome to join us and keep in contact with us that way. I know you're trying to develop a PLN of teachers in Iran, and they'd be more than welcome to join us. And just one more thing, I first went to Iran in the 1970s. I was living in Saudi Arabia. There was a little flight over there from Tehran, where I was living, 45 minutes over to Shiraz. We went there frequently. The flight also to Isfahan. And then at some point in that era, I also got on a taxi and went to Kuwait and got on a boat and went to Khorramshahr and sort of traveled around Iran from there over to Afghanistan. That was a nice long trip back in the day. But anyway, I really loved the country, and I made a lot of friends there. And also, like Claire, I taught in Houston, Texas, and there were a lot of Iranian students, and so I got to know a lot of people and looked them up when I was over in Iran later on. So it was really nice to come together in this small world, because whatever's going on politically, it's not happening among the people. And we want to perpetuate that here.
Thank you so much, Vance. Vance actually put in tons of time today, making sure that everything was, going smoothly, and that everything was ready for the recording. So Vance has always been a very, very great friend and a mentor, and I really appreciate it. I mean, just the amount of time he put in today. I mean, my students were really, really impressed, and I think they learned a lot just from that fact. Yes, and the eval sessions. Yes.
And in Adobe, you can click on the applause, the virtual applause.
Yes, exactly. So give him a round. Applause. I totally agree.
For Vance, you all know how to do that. Just go to the drop-down menu and
everybody. Right.
You know,
Where
we'd
is
like
it?
to hear from the students. I understand
Yes.
they've been
Yeah.
working on projects this semester. Do you call it semester? I'm sorry.
We say
they've been
term
working
or
on-
semester, no problem.
Okay, and
Right.
I know that they've been working on projects that they can actually implement in the classroom
Right.
and working with each, working collaboratively, actually. They've
Right.
been doing projects together. Maybe your two students want to share, or even the guests who are want to share. We'd
Sure,
like to hear
yeah.
from them. Too much us.
Yes.
Let's start from them.
Sure, yeah, why not? That's a great idea. Miss Motaki, I think, is ready to speak. She's raised her hand.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to start. And I
Go
will
ahead.
start with person.
You have a webcam?
Let me show you myself first. Hello, I'm Alzahra University, the PhD student, and this is the second time that I'm on, but I think the previous time you weren't on. So that's me, and I'm ready to talk about it. And if you can give me the desktop, I can show you
Yes, of course.
PowerPoints that I have made for today.
Okay.
I can-
Actually, yeah, I'm giving you the desktop. Of course, since you're a presenter, you can do it yourself. But yes, you can take control. So let me, let's see, do it like. Let me change this. So.
It is loading. Just so sorry if you have to wait for it a little bit. I don't know why, but it's loading.
Okay.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you. This is great. Just we'll shift it a little to the. Might have to make it a tiny bit smaller.
Sorry, I cannot find the.
Just a little. There, just a little bit more. There we go. We can just change it. Yeah, let's do 90. Let's try 90. Maybe 80.
Can I share the I don't know, the presentation over here? That would be, I guess, much easier to have. It's because I don't know why I cannot find the desktop sharing. It's
okay. Yeah, let me do something, okay? I'm going to make you, a host, and let's see if you can find it now.
Okay, and I want to share my screen. And now, yes. And
Heike is here from Germany. Hello, Heike. Am I pronouncing your name right? Okay, well, thank you so much for coming today. It's really a pleasure having you here.
Okay, shall I start?
Yes, of course. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Hope you're not. I made it as a diary because the whole class was a new chapter in my life, so I really wanted to. My adventure to the promised land of coal, and hello?
HP.
This
Yes,
is
yes.
Abby, and I'm going to share my experience, and I'm going to show you a very short summary. I'm not going to spend lots of time on introducing myself. I just let you know that I'm an English teacher and university instructor. When I was accepted in Alzahra University, I was so happy and excited because I had the chance to learn from. I know. I'm sorry, Madam Flip, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just. I guess you can see better now.
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. No problem.
And I was just happy, and I have always been into technology. I don't like to lie to you, but technology has limitations. Limited number of usages in my classes or users. So this call course just increased the horizons. Okay, practically in my classes. First, I'm going to talk about Edmodo and Google Docs. Then I'm going to talk about Castbox and podcast, Wiki and WebQuest, educational videos and testing through call, and then we have MOOCs and corpus-based learning. It was a new journey, new friends. These new friends to me at the beginning of the class were Edmodo and Google Docs. I've never used them before. Okay, that was my first trip, and I only started working with it with my private students. And I now have 2 classes on Edmodo, and this is the link of it. And I just made a screen record. Learning English is an adventure for higher level students, and this one is for private students. You can see some of the things. I'm sorry if it has some problems because the whole presentation was very big and in size, so I had to just lower the quality a little bit. Okay, Google Docs, the first stop, students. You know that this Corona thing, this COVID-19 thing, made us all stay at home, but for me, that was a blessing. I had my university students, they had too many problems, but now we're experiencing some interesting things. For example, I have my lesson plans on Google Docs. You can see the picture of them, and I always share the lesson plan on their LMS so they can find it and download it and take a quick look at it before we start each session. These 2 friends, blogs and Castbox, I use them again in my classes. And this is my blog. My students have to go there and just drop their comments part. It is a Persian blog by the way, and I can show you later on if you want. This is the picture of it, and also it's a video, but I'm not going to put much time on it. And then the book that we are teaching in university, it was collected and published by some of my colleagues and I, so we didn't have the resources to add a CD, so I just did this. Usually the students to read everything in the class, and I corrected them, but because we didn't have the class, and I thought having them read online would be a little bit boring for them, so this is the plan. I just asked them to, some of them actually, to go and record their voices and then share the voices in Castbox. They follow, they subscribe, and they use it. Wikis and WebQuest are dreams and ambitions, a journey to the center of the call. Okay, I made a WebQuest. The first session that we talked about it in our class with my dearest Dr. Marandi, I was like, it is impossible to make one. But I found the idea really interesting. I even used one WebQuest for the succeeding session in university. Because our reading was about modern art, and they are mostly general English they are that they have who have to take some general English courses, so they and their book have lots of different so for example a student studying physics or mechanics doesn't know much about modern art, so just going through that WebQuest, so I made a WebQuest myself. This is the first picture, this is the picture of the first page, and again, I can show you the whole, because I thought it would be a little bit hard for them to find, or if you want to work on it in a real class, after all this pandemic thing, QR code would be really nice, so I made a QR code for my own web quest. And then the story of our wiki in PV Works. Actually, I thought it would be nice to start all this pandemic and quarantine thing with my students. I told them, and they totally agree, and they really like the idea. So we made this PB Works, and I have around 12 writers on this page and 2 editors, and my editors are truly enthusiastic. One of them even goes on Wikipedia checking the information. I mean, it's not only about checking problems, they check everything. And it is a project for their end of their term, so they are still working on it, but they are working on it also, and I sometimes go and check their comments, and they are collaborating even without present, and they love that. And this is the page, and you can see, and I'm not alone in my journey anymore. This is the page, and even this is one of the pictures, that the end picture of one of the students, the page that you can see. And trying to stroll the road not taken, me, the director, and the examinee at the same time. This is the part about my dear Dr. Marandi, okay? This is the gist of our syllabus regarding videos. Make zillions of videos and video editing tools, and you cannot imagine how many of them they have tried working with. I'm going to show you a very short video. I hope you're not too tired. Okay. Can't you hear anything? Better now? Can you hear us now? Sorry, I have to interrupt it to make it a little bit. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm not going to show you from the beginning. یک عالمه غلط بلوغم حرف میزنم همان
the stream.
Okay. I have echo. I don't know why. And do you think that's all? I'm not going to show you the rest of the video, but just look at the numbers of the video, the final cut, okay? And imagine the amount of time each of them on each of them. Okay, echo for me too. No way out of exams, and okay. The exam session was like the most challenging session for me. I went through one application to another, and I finally made something, but not that practical because I really wanted to use it for my students. So I learned some lessons. First, check price tab before starting out. Second, it is fair to learn from free trials. And third, which is last one, Iranian platforms are worth using. And this is the Iranian platform. I'm really proud of it because it's really useful. It is basically Farsi, but it is fine and really useful. And total strangers are these two people, these two things. But I like couch surfing, so I went through everything, and so now I'm taking a free course, offline course on edX. I am following my dear Webhead on PBWorks and Coursera. I looked a little bit inside it, but I'm not following very zealously, let's say. And I'm still working on using Corpras. I'm having something in my mind, but not yet. It's under the construction in my mind. And it was only a part of literally thousands of things I have learned. You cannot imagine how useful this course was for me. And no doubt this course has changed me not only as an English teacher, I have become more patient, hardworking, persistent, and explorative. And I owe all of it to my dear Dr. Marandi. And will actually always stay an important
That's very
part
sweet
my
of you.
career. And thank you for watching.
That's
End of my diary. Sorry if I bother you. I was so stressed, so I'm not sure about the thing that I have said, and I really appreciate you following me. Thank you so much.
great job. Bravo. You did a wonderful job. I'm very, very proud of you. Very, very, very good job. Excellent. I mean, these are the things, part of the things that she has been exploring over this term, so you can imagine just like how much she has learned in a very, very short time. And I'm sure that she has a great future ahead of her and that she will do a great job. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much, Ms. Motari. You did a great job.
Much, my dear professor. I learned a lot from you. That was a great pleasure, honor, and chance to be in your class. And
You're very sweet.
And also my students really appreciate you, I know, because they are enjoying. And this is the only class that they run for doing all the assignments. They're like four sessions ahead trying to do their assignments. They are cooperating. They love it. They enjoy it. And it's all because of you.
Well, that's very sweet of you, dear. It's my pleasure, really a pleasure, to be in this class. The call students, yes, that's a good idea. Okay, so let me show you. All right, so here, the people, actually, Miss Motaki, who just presented right now, is one of my students this term, Zahra Motaki.
Yeah.
And then Zohre Babazadeh also, she'll be presenting in a moment. And then the rest of them are like former students. So yes, Ms. Babazadeh, feel free to go right ahead. You are a presenter now, so you should have no problem. Let me give you the screen. Okay, so we're sharing the screen right now. And then, we'll have the others introduce themselves as well. So you're very welcome, Christine, my dear Christine. So like we have Asma Mohammadi, who is our PhD student and had her call class with me last year. She's back again this term. We have Golnush Hadipour, who is our guest. She's a friend of Zahra Muttaqi's. We have Mariam Shah Mohammadi, also a guest. She's a friend of the two sisters, Nina and Mona Zohrabi, who are sharing a computer. We have Dr. Sara Farshad Nia, who was our student at Alzahra University. She did her MA there. And then she did her PhD in Call in New Zealand. Then Zahra Golisorhi, she is also a PhD student, had her Call class last year. And the two sisters, Nina and Mona Zohrabi. I think, Elizabeth, did you want to say something?
Yes, there was just
Elizabeth?
two little things I would like to say. I am surprised that the video worked so well within the presentation, because Adobe Connect actually needs a specific pod for YouTube videos. If you
it wasn't a YouTube video, madam. It was my own video. I just put it inside the PowerPoint, and then I played the PowerPoint. I was afraid of having problems, so I just put everything inside my own laptop to make sure that it's going to work and it's not dependent on
for some time.
networks or Wi-Fi or whatever that we are using.
Really exceptional. I mean,
Well,
I'm sure we'd all love to produce such a beautiful PowerPoint.
Too late with this.
Well done indeed. And the other little point, because I used wikis a lot with my students, and at the university I had the problem of having to produce of assessment, having to give them a mark at the end, and sharing a wiki. So,
right.
What I would do is for each student to have make their own wiki, and which was then connected to the class wiki by a link, but their own was private. And what I requested for them was like just simply every week to say, why did we do what we do and what did they learn? So I just asked them to produce every week a paragraph, a self-reflecting paragraph.
Right, formative assessment.
So that they could have their individual marks at the end of the year, but then we had the shared wiki, and they could say on their private wiki, I did this, that, or the other. You know? It was quite a happy medium to this obligation to give a continual assessment mark, while using the sharing potential of the wiki for the class.
That was really nice. Actually, I didn't know that I could do it, so I write them down, and I'm going to work on it, because I'm totally new with all the technology, and I'm still working, and this is the first set of students. Plus, it's only a part of their final exam, not the complete, and I'm going to use it maybe for the next term. Thank you for letting me know, and thank you so much for paying attention to it.
Remember everything else they have to do.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Grading and exams.
Okay, so thank you so much. Ms. Babazadeh, you want to show yours? All right, so the floor is yours, honey, whenever you're ready. I still don't see your desktop, okay, so Let me see. Okay. If you can hear me, say something. So.
I'm sorry if I couldn't answer everybody because I was so into giving my presentation, so I'm going to read everything very soon. In fact,
No problem. No problem, dear. All right. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, sure, no problem. No, you did a great job, Miss Motapi. A really great job.
thank you so much, Dr. Marandi. That means a lot to me.
You're very welcome. I'm very proud of you. Very proud of all of you, honestly. So, Miss Babazadeh, do you think you want me to try giving you, like, making you a host? Do you have a problem, or is it uploading? It's loading. Okay, so it's just going to take a while. All right. So, while Zohra's film is uploading, it might be a good time for the others to grab the mic and maybe the other girls, like, introduce themselves. Dr. Farshad, would you like to say a few words? Sarah?
Hello.
Oh.
Do you have my voice?
Yeah.
Very nice to see you. I'm Zahra Sorhi, as Dr. Marandi kindly mentioned my name. So, actually, I just wanted to grab this opportunity and say hello and say how much I'm excited and happy to meet you all here.
All right.
So, my pleasure. I'm just gonna mute my mic for now.
Okay. So that was Miss Sorhi, Zahra Sorhi. She was a student in my class last year, and she came back. She's planning to work on call for her PhD dissertation. And she's very tech savvy. So she often helps us out with the problems because I'm not a very tech savvy person by nature.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. Farshad, how about you? Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I would like to thank you, Dr. Marandi, for setting up this session. It was a very interesting session.
My pleasure.
Although I was doing calls for my PhD, but I was a bit distant with the different call groups because I was focused on a more e-learning part rather than the English or the language learning part.
Right.
This session kind of introduced me to the new world, and I'm really happy to be here, and I hope to become an active member of this community.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
A pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. It's the same for me here to be a part of this. Place.
Dr. Farshad, what was the topic of your dissertation? You were in Christchurch University, right, in New Zealand?
I was in Canterbury University.
Oh, yeah, right. Canterbury University in Christchurch.
Yes, in Christchurch.
Yeah, right.
The topic of my thesis is influences on the ICT practices reported by selected ESOL teachers in Aotearoa, New Zealand secondary school.
Okay, well, I'm so glad that you're back in Iran, and hopefully together we can do lots of things to improve call in Iran. Okay, so thank you so much, and Zohra Jan, Miss Babazadeh, the floor is yours.
Everything's on already. Oh, my mouse.
Yes, we can hear you, but I don't think that, right now I'm seeing your Adobe Connect, okay, so not the actual desktop. Okay. Just so you know.
I wanted to say hi to all
There we
our
go.
guests
There we
Sorry
go.
about this silly stuffy. Anyway,
and I'm going
might
to
as
say
well
that
go and
it's
eat.
really an honor to me, a pleasure to me that you all here, and
Fudge for bears and
consider
pigs.
it a very
Boy.
important day in my life. I could never imagine that one day I could have a meeting with all important professors in Call.
That's actually
In fact,
co-op.
very I'm really thankful to my dear Professor Dr. Marandi for giving us the chance to get together and learn from each other.
It's my pleasure, dear. For some reason okay.
It comes and goes. What?
Yeah, for some reason, your slides occasionally disappear, and we see your Adobe Connect instead. Okay, right now I can see your slides.
Why?
Okay.
I wanted to say that before starting my presentation, I need to explain something that all I'm going to show is not what I have learned. It's not all what I have learned, just part of it, because it was not possible to show all of them. The whole process of our class was all full of learning, and is in fact a great deal of that changed our mentality and our attitudes toward Call. So I cannot show them here, but just part of the activities that we did during the term, I will show them, and let's get started.
Just one moment. One moment. So sorry. 1 moment. Heike has been suggesting that you click on Start Sharing in your video. Okay. Do you start sharing? Wait a second.
Start sharing, be able to see her video in Adobe while she's presenting. Do you see start sharing, that button just underneath your nose?
Yeah.
Click on it, please. No, it's underneath your video, in your video itself, in the webcam. In your picture, there's a start sharing. No, on the preview.
Oh, right. Yeah, your webcam. Okay, yeah. Right, I didn't get the point you're making. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Alzahra, the PhD student at Alzahra University. I have my BA and MA from Alzahra University, and also I'm going to have my PhD. Hope that I can present some part of what I have learned very well during this term. I need to say that the reason for selecting this picture is that I just wanted to express my pleasure to show my happiness and enthusiasm for having an online class. With the outbreak of coronavirus, as some of you very nicely pointed out, it seemed to everybody that we should stop.
We'd open a restaurant called Churritos.
Learning. And I assume that we cannot have our class. We cannot continue our classes for some weeks or even for some months. But within 2 weeks, we continued our classes, and I was really surprised. At the beginning, I was a little bit resistant to online learning because it was new to me. But when we started it, I had really fun with that, and I really I can say that honestly, the quality of the classes was not negatively influenced, but it was much more effective, I think, during this term. So we learned how to turn the constraints to opportunities, and we continued our classes. In fact, we went through a lot of problems, but the lessons that we learned were very, very valuable. And the
Frozen?
Yeah, I'm doing it all the time. What's the bandwidth they've got? Could be coming out on the recording.
needs to know. He knows the information.
Are you recording this?
I'm streaming it onto YouTube.
She will let you do that?
Hmm?
She will let you do that?
I asked them. I double checked with them. Oh yeah, they all thought that was a good idea. Why? Well, at least they're not interrupting our dinner with their sotto voces.
We talked about the problem knowledge,
She's just giving her
but or indirectly
experience.
quoting people. We need to acknowledge that.
It's a big deal for them. I talked to them earlier. I wanted to set up everything. She was in the middle of a class, and so they asked me questions like, how did I get into this? And this is at a time
some tools that we learned to
before they said
teach
people grew
skills.
up with this
After
all
that,
along.
we during the process we talked that
Good question.
For a need for all call teachers that they need to we also need to in the one of the books that I created, so and much more these are some of the notes that I have learned during this term. So we need to take so we must not forget that the purpose of e-learning is not to
wow.
And also we talked about that, despite all affordances and opportunities, we to live and we should prepare ourselves
No idea what this is about.
classrooms. I found our professor very supportive, and I think that
tomorrow is Thursday, yeah. Sunday's my next online thing, which is a bit challenging.
yes, and according to my purpose, and I was a little bit worried that my professor would, would expect me to be ready and present, a work, a task created by some. And she talked about her own problem, and she said that we also learned during this program, even the tools that I explored, and I found them not appropriate. So I also learned from all those tools. So I know that they are not appropriate, they are not suitable, and which purpose the classroom must be collaborative. I learned many things from my professors.
Pulled pork.
Well, it's nice to have a whole
And
day
also
to
from
work
my
on.
classrooms.
Yeah.
The my
make
classmates.
cookies, salsa,
Then I told them,
pulled
okay,
pork, clean the bathroom. So busy. Domestic.
with my voice during the class. That we did during that term. I'm going to show you just part of it because we lack time. I got to know some websites for practicing collaborative writing. One of them was Adobe Connect. The other was webs.com. All those tools, I try to see that how they can
Why?
be used
Very nice.
in my
I
class.
love this food.
This website
Makes me everyone laugh.
is
This food does such a better job than.
Every now and then I want something like
on the teaching, on the reflecting on what we had learned after
A hamburger, you can get one. I don't know where you get a hamburger.
during those classes, and we need.
I mean, maybe because when you cook your own food.
In fact, we were interacting with all our professor classmates.
I love your food.
Deadline.
But anything, if you feel like a pizza, you can order a pizza or you go pick one up.
Well, that wasn't like a real pizza, that was a supermarket pizza.
It's hard to know what a real pizza is. You go get the. I mean, Domino's is good. I don't know. I
Like
just
that
don't
I
know.
showed you, they're very helpful for collaborating. You know, a lot.
We have 2 tools to practice collaborative writing. Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
for
I'm
example,
sorry.
Adobe like
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
themselves and reflect.
You think that's bad?
And what they are not, they cannot use for editing.
Wife, I'm sorry. Darling, stop that.
You know,
Really.
but here, people,
Really,
but here,
this is serious talk going on here. Yeah, it shouldn't look that painful, are you?
Hot. God,
Ooh.
sunset was so pretty today.
Beautiful.
My picture is better than yours.
Ah, so
Have a
really?
look.
Oh,
we also
okay.
look on platforms to create
I
synchronous
think
and
mine
the
got better colors. I think my camera is a little bit better.
Yeah, they're probably different.
I mean, that's one reason Dusty had me get that one. It has a good camera.
to run an online class, but the outbreak of coronavirus started to have our classes from the
Seeing
third
sometimes
session,
when you hit it, like, see, I got 2 B's.
we had online classes from the third session.
Check and make sure. Oops. Okay. This is frustrating.
And I made a group
That's why I like the phone. It does your
tried it
thumb.
out to get myself familiar with the
Yeah.
environment there. Very helpful. I also created Edmodo, made a group, and I shared some content there and assigned some homework there. And I'm really expecting the time that I can use all these tools in my classes.
Okay.
You also learn how to make podcasts. I remember that I
Nice,
used
yeah.
Telegram
That's very
as a way to practice speaking while we were
Nice on
away during the
Facebook.
time
Oh,
that I
that's
had
nice.
class. You know, I asked the students to record their voice and share
Oh,
their
well,
opinion
memories
on
on Facebook.
some questions that I raised. No, but I didn't find it very collaborative, and and the students didn't really welcome it. But right now, I know
But
how
is
to
it
make and
their
create
house or is it?
Yeah,
this
Doha.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's
Doha, yeah, I think it's
really fascinating.
so cute.
I think.
Okay.
I don't remember having
Yeah, and
Sounds delicious, yeah.
Oh, maybe my
Okay.
tag didn't work.
No, I got your picture here. But I
Where's
don't-
yours?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I'm not here.
then we learn how to
With Bard.
I got yours.
I'm looking for mine. Maybe I can.
Maybe
Close.
my tag didn't work. Maybe.
Well, what do you mean? Because.
Is that yours or mine at the top?
That's yours. I'm pretty sure. Tell me what's going on here. Okay. Bobby Stevens with the last Stevens.
Yeah, Beautiful Night. That's mine.
Beauty, beauty night.
I'll keep going down.
Yay. Oh,
There's
look.
yours.
See, now that's nice.
Okay, now go down to see mine.
Ah.
And it's funny because we took it
Yeah, but look.
almost exactly the
See,
same
mine
time.
has more lights.
but
Mine
it
is
was
got a lot
then
of
that
character.
I
Why?
of the characteristics of
Susanna likes my photo.
try to be
Andrew liked
inventive.
Andrew, oh, come on,
Because of
he's
that,
weird,
my
you know.
position was
No, actually,
that
I like
because
Andrew.
we
He
had
says
learned
mine's
some
like
tools for screencasting, I decided to screencast
Whereas mine was more realistic.
The whole video.
Well,
I'm
these
going
people are
to,
really taking advantage of someone's good nature. I mean, it's nice what she's doing with them, but you know, come on. Oh, what can you say?
Can you leave when you want to, or are you the host?
Well, no, I'm not. Well, I am a host of this, but I'm not in control of this at all. It's okay. I'm just letting it run. I just need to monitor, and also when it stops, I need to stop it because I'm broadcasting it in here. So when
Heike, we had our classes here in Adobe. There's also a Moodle, but we were like, mostly our classes have been synchronous, so they have been like exploring actually and learning by doing. So I'm going to share, after her presentation, I'm going to share their syllabus so you can see the kinds of things that they have been learning.
Okay, Dan? Thanks.
Zohre, Miss Babazadeh, we don't hear the sound of the video. You do? Okay. Okay, Miss Motari apparently here.
First of all, make sure that the voice of your computer is at its upper, because it's really important. صدای لپتاپ تا اونجایی که ممکنه زیاد کن. Because it seems
من
that
خودمو میوت میکنم. من خودم میوت.
I'm going to do so. Yeah. And also there should be a voice over here inside the PowerPoint. Make sure that it is high. And then go ahead. It's going to be a little, did you see that? It's going to be a little bit weak, by the way, I guess, but it would be much better.
Tomorrow. What's that? So I made an album on my computer, pictures, and it's all of Glenn playing soccer when he was a kid. So I put it on my G.
See that on the right?
Thing, but it's not like an album. It's just like a. Because I want to share an album with him. Anyway, I'll show you the problem tomorrow. I'm sure it's something.
I'm sure it's something too.
That can be done by,
Did it get better?
How to do it. I tried to drag
Share
the
an
whole
album. How do you mean? Like you made an album in
on my
photos?
computer.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh, in photos. Okay, you made an album in photos, and
I
you
cannot.
uploaded a bunch of photos to it from your computer. Yeah.
I dragged
Separate.
Oh, you can't find it? Okay. All right.
The whole folder.
Okay, listen, Zohra, do you...
Individual files, or how did?
Yes, I can hear you.
If
Folder. You just took the folder itself.
you can find it,
And dragged it.
if you think you can find it,
Well, then it's
Headset
like
microphone,
it lists them, 'cause I
and
want
just
it to be a folder,
let us
so Glenn
hear
can
it
just look at a
without
folder.
headset, because that's another issue.
I'll show you tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not a biggie. I'm sure.
Because I mean, you could open the folder and then select all the files, and select all C, Control A, select all the files.
Yeah, I tried that. And
At least we
there
can
was a
hear
bunch
hear
that
something. It has
Google
noise, but we can hear it.
Maybe
Now.
it's your view for this listing.
Well, maybe I should try to share it with you too, and then you could tell me, and then you could delete it. I could take you off of it if you don't want. It's Glenn as a kid catching soccer balls, and I think Glenn would really enjoy it. So.
Probably find them all on Facebook eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going on here. Claire's leaving. I say goodbye.
I want to show it. And for this, this is a work that I have created, and I prefer to show it to you. I have the book here. If I find it, this is the book that I.
Okay. Oh, these people, they need to, you know, you need to practice first. You can't just assume it's going to work. But I mean, that's what they're learning. You know, we're deep into something that nobody's ever going to watch.
Yeah.
So, anyways, just going on to YouTube and fine. They can go back and look at it.
Scratch my back right up there.
Better for you.
I'm looking forward to sleeping on my nice pillow again. Do you like the pillow? Did you sleep
Yeah.
well on
Oh,
it?
and you know something happened today. When we came back to bed, I lay down. I think we were lying there and sort of trying to snorkel. I might have snorkeled. I don't know. Anyway.
I turned out what your presentations by Ali Miri,
there.
and we told him about. I told him that I used his
thought, oh, this is pointless. A whole hour had gone by. Just a nice hour of just complete oblivion. Maybe a lot of snorkeling.
That's why I like in the morning, I like to kind of get up slow because I know I'm going to check mail and I'm going to check news and yeah, it's just sort of nice not to know.
Nice not to know what.
Now after this story, I have put here a link.
People are dying of COVID.
Yeah.
That
But
the students can go through
so many
and
people who aren't
practice
you.
vocabularies that were highlighted their stories and
But what's really good is there was only 15 new cases in Malaysia today. After yesterday, it was triple figures.
But yeah, like
they're not testing.
It's probably they just found a bunch. And,
Yeah.
they moved them onto a cruise ship or something.
Yeah, I
the
think,
content
when
was
they're
a little
talking
bit
about
related.
cases, those are known cases.
No, I
and
think
don't
it's
test
on,
them,
and
no problem.
thank you all.
Very nice.
I only know 3 people.
Very nice. Excellent job as usual. Bravo. Thank you very much. Okay, you really did a great job. Thank you so much. Okay.
Just no.
Okay, well, everybody I know, you've been I'm sure you're all very busy, and I think it's time to, I will just want to share this, share the syllabus with you, so
we have to see her syllabus.
you can download it and take a look, but just for you guys to see, okay, wait just a second.
Why don't you start your webcam again so we can see you as you go?
Oh, idea. Okay. All right. So, yeah, well, the beginning, let me just wait a second. Okay, so this is an introduction to their call course. If you take a look, they really had a packed syllabus because I really have to squeeze in both the theory and the practice into their syllabus. And yeah, sure, sure, Heike. I just saw your note. Yes, definitely. Okay, sure, I will. So anyway, the whole thing is packed with both theory and practice. So every session they have some readings, and they also have some tools that they have to explore. So the first, the second session actually, they're reading about some called preliminaries, some articles that, these articles are dealing with, for example, staying safe online, online safety and privacy, netiquette, plagiarism, Creative Commons licenses, copyleft and copyright, and things like that. So some of the preliminaries, the importance of being
I thought it would taste good with
familiar with teaching theories and not depending fully on technology, and things like that. So, and they also had to explore Edmodo, create a class, invite the options, Then the session after that, they had technology improve learning. Does technology make education fairer? And then they had to explore webs.com to create their own personal homepage, and then compare the educational functionality of this homepage with Edmodo. Then the session after that, as you
don't just eat it like
see, they had like some call theories from Hubbard and Levy and from Blend, and also exploring collaborative writing through wikis, Google Docs, creating a wiki through Zoho Writer, and then like the session after that, they had like some articles on wikis and on mobile blogs, and also exploring and creating a weblog, discovering educational and technology weblog, like explaining the potential of different tools that they had learned, like LMSs, homepages, weblogs, and wikis, and comparing these. So the sixth session, we had podcasting and RSS. They had like a reading related to this issue and related to how to use podcasts in like your teaching. They also had to create a podcast and to use an RSS feed and explore that. And then the session after that, we had flipped classroom and learning. We also had WebQuest and some readings about these tools. And they also started exploring with screencasting and creating screencasts. Then they had to use screencasts to demonstrate some new tools that they had explored, things which were not included in our class, like QR codes and like electronic flashcards, mind mapping, etc., social bookmarking. Then the session after that, as you see, like they had MOOCs, we had like things about the hegemonies of call, adding to their educational videos. Well, I don't want to just like take you through the whole thing. That would be very boring, I guess. Anyway, they had like... So I just...
For this group.
Okay, all right. Well, so they also had concordancing and exploring concordancing and using corpora and corpus analysis for learning and data-driven learning, exploring how to create screencasts using their cell phones, creating screencast and educational videos and adding, for example, call-outs, effects, sound, and things like that. My point is they really went through a lot of work in a very short time. And we had like acceptable call research practices, so that like the readings were about how to do effective call research. And we had technology and language assessment, so we had some readings about that. They also had to explore various tools for how to use technology for online assessment, and like some suggested tools like Hot Potatoes, Easy Test Maker, I don't know, Quizstar, Google Forms, TPAC, and more like readings. So Skype, WizIQ, the Moodle Sandbox. And we have 2 sessions left, intelligent call and immersive technologies, like, for example, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and then after that, some recent and future developments. Yeah, TPAC is really important. And this is like the latest article, 2019, where they add the X knowledge. So X whatever it's called, okay? Yeah, they went through a lot of work, okay? So these are like a list of some of the tools they had to explore, some of the concepts they had to become familiar with, so you can see that I totally overloaded them. You see, the point is that well, these girls are doing their PhD, and after this they will be doctors. And this is the last station, as I always say, like the last station for formal learning, okay? And while we talk of lifelong learning, etc., it was important for me that as PhDs, they have, let's say, that they have a basic understanding of both the theory and the practice and everything. So I really drove them hard, but they really rose to meet the challenge, and they went beyond my expectations. They did a wonderful job. And they learned a lot. I have been learning with them. My syllabus, it includes lots of other, like, extra information I think they will find to, like, useful journals that they can explore. And so a long list of journals, then, like, the required readings and some, like, additional readings, whether theory-based, and, like, also some readings which are practice-oriented and hands-on. and then like, well, some notes about the assignments and a poem for them to, okay, I really like this poem, if you don't mind.
Bonnie, I'm so glad you're showing them the poem.
Yeah.
I want to add something, Dr. Laine. Yeah, we had more classes to other courses and our jobs and our calls. And to be honest, that was the busiest semester of my life, and I enjoyed every second of it, believe it or not. I mean, I was running the whole semester, but I enjoyed every step of it.
Okay.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You know, I really had to pay them a lot to say all these things, but
You're a wonderful professor.
that's very, very sweet of you. I don't know if you have come across this poem before. This is like really so funny. Let me read it to you and we'll wrap up. So it's, remember when a computer was something on TV from a science fiction show of note, a window was something you hated to clean, and Ram was the cousin of a goat. Meg was the name of my girlfriend, and gig was a job for the night. Now they all mean different things, and that really megabytes. An application was for employment, a program was a TV show. A cursor used profanity, a keyboard was a piano. Memory was something that you lost with age, a CD was a bank account. And if you had a 3.5-inch floppy, you hoped nobody found out. Sorry.
Naughty ladies.
Compress was something you did to the garbage, not something you did to a file. And if you unzipped anything in public, you'd be in jail for a while. Log on was adding wood to the fire. Hard drive was a long trip on the road. A mouse pad was where a mouse lived, and a backup happened to your commode. Cut you did with a pocket knife. Paste you did with glue. A web was a spider's and a virus was the flu. I guess I'll stick to my pad and paper and
the memory in my head.
So, and this is of course the source.
Have a fan.
I mean, different governments, and that which doesn't. This is throughout the year. Okay, and then I'm going to the.
Here it comes.
Okay.
I won't be able to hear it. However, it's nice. They're so sweet. She calls them sweetie.
I'm just trying to share everything.
Yeah, when you're in the class, they get
Okay.
Sweetie. Yeah. Sweetie. Oh, yeah, that's cute.
She's so enthusiastic, she wants to share this video.
Yeah.
Hello, sorry again for interruption. Actually, this is a really short video. Do you hear me? Yes. Okay, so actually I'm trying to share it, and okay, I'm not sure if it's going right. Dr. Marandi, do you have any suggestions?
Is it upload?
Okay. Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
We have to wait for it to
upload
Adobe platform, don't we?
Sounds like she's getting some help there.
No, sorry. I will go away. In my opinion,
you forgot the ice cream.
Video has to upload because
yes.
No, it's still
this
here.
is why very frequently upload beforehand.
Yeah, if it's a regular video format, it doesn't take that long to just upload it right into Adobe. You share it as a document from your computer. if you have it.
Fish?
Mm-hmm.
British?
It's really matching
Well, I
down
think
to
it is uploading as we sit here, so could I just add my little reflection, which is
Yes, of course.
completely on a different level, because I'm totally amazed by what you've done there. Absolutely, I think it's brilliant. The students do have to. The teachers must be ahead of the students. This was in my university. The other teachers would say, "Oh, it's easy for the students," and it made me so angry that the teachers were not leading. You know, the teachers have to bring to it. But what I actually wanted to say was, along with my use of the wikis, where the students write on the wikis, one of the most useful things was very regularly I would copy and paste extracts of their mistakes. So, and end up with a sheet of mistakes. So although these were anonymous as a whole, everyone recognized their own. And since French is very close to English, there's very frequent, we call them Gallicisms, very frequent mistakes. And it was just such a pleasure for the other students to say things like, information doesn't take an S, and all of the things which annoy you as a teacher, which you're constantly repeating. By bringing it from their work, then they themselves were fed up of it. And I said, yeah, it will not appear when no one uses it anymore. So at the level of the actual grammar and the actual language learning, it was just fantastic. One of the aspects was just fantastic. What being on.
Actually, we can download it. She shared it as a file.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea.
But it's a short video, but it's large. That's the issue.
I see.
It's large.
Right.
So I think as we are winding up, I just want to, this is Laine, I just want to thank Susan, Professor Marandi, and her wonderful students and the guest students, former students and visitors that came, and thanks all the webheads who showed up too. We always show up. That's one thing about webheads.
Of course.
We pop up.
Right.
So we want to thank you and your and everything that you planned for us today. It's been a fully packed session. Those 2 hours went by so fast. I can't believe it. But we all chimed in, I think, and we all enjoyed it. And I think Vance was doing a lot in the background, so I'd like to thank him. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but I know he made it happen. The puppet master or whatever behind the scenes. So we all thank you so much, and we've really enjoyed this.
Very welcome.
I'm glad we did it.
Thank you also very, very much. I really appreciate you all being here. And I think it was a wonderful experience for my students, and that they'll never forget that. The other girls, the ones who weren't actually students of this class but have been sharing this experience with us, also have some amazing work. So hopefully some other time we'll be able to share that. And I really, really mean amazing. I mean, their work is no less impressive. So there wasn't really time, to show everything that they've been doing. Hopefully we'll be able to have another session. And I really appreciate everybody making the time out of a very busy schedule. You really put in a lot of time and 2 full hours. And Vance has been busy all day doing preparing everything. So thank you so much. I just really don't know how to express my gratitude. And these are who the webheads are, girls. So yeah, I think after this, hopefully, you need to become more familiar with them and learn more about them, because they are really an awesome group. And whatever of success I have had in the field of call, it really goes down to these people, and they were the people who taught me things, beginning with Christine, and then like all the other web heads, and like the people in the EVO, and and as just like the last couple of sentences, I owe this to all Iranians to mention that we have not always been treated very fairly, online or offline, face-to-face, etc. I have tons of very bitter experiences as a Muslim, as an Iranian, as a person coming from Iran, in different places, some very, very bitter experiences. I have often felt like kind of shut out because of my nationality. And occasionally because this guy was going around telling everybody like she's a terrorist and kick her out of the conference, and like people came up to me and told me that. I'm glad that my student. Okay, so I think. Oh, this is right. Okay, I think she finally got her her video running. Okay, so thank you all. So Ms. Guelasorhi, I think you finally got it up and running. Ms. Guelasorhi, are you there? I don't know whether you hear me or not, okay, but your video is playing, okay?
Hello, Professor, again. Sorry for interruption. Do you have my voice?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I'm going to play this video if that's okay.
Part of it, okay? A little part of it. Just a part of it, okay?
Sure. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay. Just a short part of it, okay, sorry, because everybody, I'm sure they have a busy schedule.
Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness, these people, they're sweet. Sweetie, sweetie, come on, sweetie.
clip, I mean, from the little bit that I saw of it, it was really awesome. And I hope that everybody has downloaded it so that later on they can check it out. But I think that, you know, they... I can have like another session and we can have like other people come and see the things that the girls have done. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it and make them regret. Kindly give me back the control of the
I think also the webheads wanted to introduce themselves a little bit, and we took time for that. So we didn't really have a chance to see all of the creations that made. But this has been a wonderment for everybody, and I'm sure they'll to share their work. You know, this doesn't have to be the end of this connection that we've made. But
of course, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so once again, thank you everybody so much. Very much appreciated. And if ever you are able to come to Iran, and I hope that that will happen, we look forward to welcoming you and taking you around. And I really, really thank you so much for everything.
We truly appreciate.
Thank you, Susan.
And thank you, Dr. Marandi, for giving us this chance.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm
Till
going
the next time.
to stop the stream shortly, whenever it quiets down. But anyway, it's very wonderful to hear from everybody. And thank you very much for putting this on.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you, Vance. I mean, you really helped so much. Thank you.
Okay, stopping the stream now. Good night, everybody. Oh, I forgot to say it's May 27th, 2020. This is, I think, Learning Together episode number 267, maybe, and about the 21st TALIN event, webinar. And thank you very much for putting it on for us. And good night, everybody.